Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Harakah Kadash, the one and city apostles and elders, great millstone that rule well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work, sincerity and truth. Um, got this article on KWWL. Um, you know, well, I think it comes from CNN, but it's talking about that Neuralink, and they're looking for another another guinea pig, another tester basically, to throw in the mix, because well, I'll read it. So it says Elon Musk's Neuralink is seeking a second person to test its brain chip. And it says Elon Musk's brain implant startup Neuralink is accepting application for a second human trial participant to test its device, the billionaire said on X Friday. The request comes 5 months after Neuralink implanted a brain chip into his first human trial participant, 30-year-old Nolan Arbour, and just a week after the company admitted these implant had experienced an unexpected problem. Neuralink said that the threads connecting the chip to Arbour's brain had retracted, causing performance issues, although the company said it had adjustments to improve its functions. Still, Arbour says the implant, which allows him to control a personal computer, has with his brain, control a computer cursor with his brain, has changed his life. Arbour has been quadriplegic since 2016 following a diving incident. And yeah, it's they did the example before with what was it with the monkey? Like that was the first thing people kind of saw. Then afterwards, they did it with they did it with a monkey. Then afterwards, they did it like they had videos of this guy kind of controlling things through the through the implant. So and that's it's snared the minds of the people. It's basically it's shone out before them, and they're invested. People, the way they you talk to just average Joes in the world, they're kind of looking at like, oh, you're going to be able to have, Google in your head. You're going to be able to, adjust, certain things in your brain. Maybe they're looking at like they're going to be, what's it, a $6 million man, I think it is. Where it's like, the guy that becomes like a cyborg. And I remember like, you used to have on the TV and the guy would just like lift up a car at the start, because they're looking at like they're gonna become superhuman through those things, and that's that's a big part of the draw. That's a big part of what kind of uh you know gets in the minds of the people, and what is part of what they're invested in the system as well, because they look at it as like, I can't remember what the example was. It was like people kind of thinking like, oh, if they went to olden, as they call them, olden days, you know, 200-300 years ago, people are like, oh, there'll be nothing to do. There'll be no Netflix, no TV, no Xbox, no cinema, no whatever. They're looking at just like in it, through the modern lens. But then it's like the things of actual worth and value you can kind of do. I mean, you to some extent you can still do those things now, but it's like people don't really want to do those things. It's like a lot of these physical kind of activities and jobs and lifestyles people had previously. Where you might be like a carpenter or a builder. These things, people still do them, but then that it's not the same kind of mindset, lifestyle. Same with like farming. Same with if you want to grow specific herbs, if you're to grow a certain kind of livestock, those things, the way those things are done now is just a completely different, system and style than before. And it's like, even with, I think in the US, I think over here as well. Yeah, yeah, over here I know for the eggs at least. I believe for like egg farming, like with chickens and hens and whatnot. In the UK, like it has to be supplemented by the government just so they have British eggs, because otherwise, it's just it doesn't make enough money for it to be viable. Like a lot of these lifestyles now, you can't supplement yourself because of how money's adjusted in the way, and because of how everything's globalized, everything's linked in. It's like, you can get, you can pay for the British eggs, but then you can import eggs for like a quarter of the price. Or you can import various like there's cheaper ways to get things in bulk from overseas. So a lot of kind of industries and lifestyles are done, and then it's adjustments. It's like there's all kind of different forms of how people what do you call it, live life previously, where them things that you like, who needs a smithing like method techniques, don't even, like a bunch of that shit don't even exist now because of how much it's switched up. But it's like people are now so locked into the way the current age is, they don't think or give weight to those previous lifestyles. They're thinking, oh, we're everything's so XYZ now that we're just going to continue on this path, and they just see it as that Neuralink. They think, okay, so I'll be able to do uh you know you'll have like a screen in your eye, your eyeball or something, and then just kind of overlaying things, and then giving you information, or you'll be able to like message, and then use your brain to send messages back to someone instead of having to use a smartphone and whatnot. These are all the things that people are basically looking at. Or like the Black Mirror episodes where you have the Archangel episode where you got the youth them gets a C hip, and it lets the parents kind of control what they can see, and keep track of them. Or what was the other one? There was what you call it, um the one in season one where it was the guy gets a C hit behind like his ear, and yeah, and it records all these memories and stuff. And they can kind of go through and scrub through it like video. Like these are the things that people have in their minds, and that's what they're gonna be invested in. They're thinking like, oh, being able to do that, blah blah blah, would be great. You'll be able to go out and have a great time, or do XYZ, and then you'd be able to relive that or whatever. But then it's that's the draw, that's the appeal. So I can even oh, let's go back. So I read this, Revelation 13 and verse 3, and it says, "And I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast." So yeah, all the world wondered after the beast. All these different nations are basically looking at what do you call it? All these different nations are kind of looking at the system that's been set up and established. Oh shiz, I didn't think about that. Set up and established. Um, what do you call it? By America, the American way of life and whatnot, and they're enthralled. You know, and it's really America that's kind of like the central point of that, because you go to You know, you go to India, you go to China, you go to Australia, you know, you go to Tanzania. They're all kind of looking to and aspiring towards, you know, Hollywood. A bunch of like things that originate like music and certain lifestyles and whatnot that originate in you know in America, or that would have been popularized or you know, promoted through America, and they're just kind of like all drawn in, man. Their mind's been you know, been sucked into it. And there's something this guy says as well a bit further down. Um, so it says, now Neuralink is seeking more people like Arva to test out its brain CHIP. If you have quadriplegia and want to explore new ways of controlling a computer, we invite you to participate in our clinical trial. And you know, people are going to be clamoring. People are going to be climbing. Well, they ain't gonna be climbing shit because they're quadriplegic, but you know, metaphorically climbing over each other to, you know, to get the opportunity of this, because that's how it's seen. You know, you could probably take like an average Joe up in a bunch of like, you know, just living a, you know, your average shop worker, your average copper, your average what they call EMT, emergency transport. What I don't know. You know, them niggas that drive the ambulance or whatever. You can take you know, someone from all these different you know, so-called persuasions or ways of life, and offer that opportunity to them, and you know, they'll jump on it, because I think like, oh, okay, you know, just be like, oh, you're at home and you just like, oh, you want to change the TV channel. What's that? Oh, it was fucking X-Men. I remember like X-Men 2. Fucking, I remember this scene. But I watched that film a lot. But X2, I think is what the film's called, X-Men 2 anyway. The 2000s one. It was like 2004 or something that came out. There's a scene where they're like they invade the, what do you call it? Xavier's school for gifted mutants or whatever, or gifted children, whatever it's called. And then like before they do that, you have what's his name, Wolverine, like go downstairs and like get a drink from the fridge, and he goes like, he sees a kid watching TV. Can't remember which one it was, and he's just like blinking his eyes to change the TV channels. You know, just being able to do that, you know, someone would be willing to jump on this. You know, just to be able to change the TV channel, or be at home and like that, you know, on a smartphone and be like, okay, I want to tap that, like using it without, you know, just with their mind. They'll be like, damn, yeah, yeah, of course I'll jump on that. But you know, there's more to it, because you know, we're dealing with the serpent man, we're dealing with Esau, Edom, so-called white man, you know, the devil, which means deceiver, that the Bible speaks of. You know, he's that top deceiver, which is why, you know, it seems, you know, like a glorious, magnificent gift as far as in the eyes of the world. But then, you know, there's more to it. Because what does it say? Okay, so it says, yeah. About a month after the operation, Musk said Arba could control a computer mouse with his brain. Neuralink later posted a video showing Arba using only his brain to play chess on a computer. But after his device developed an unexpected issue, stunting its data processing speeds and performance, Arba told Good Morning America that he cried afterwards. So yeah, he was, you know, he was in tears, because you know, losing those capabilities was you know, it must be legendary. But that's kind of you know, this is looked at as like a supreme miracle as far as in the eyes of the world. because something that's obviously, now being pushed, like, oh, help, people who can't control their limbs or blah blah blah, to to get it. But then people are already looking at, like, oh, you can make your brain do this, you can make your brain do that. Like, okay, I want to be able to, okay, what if I want to make it so, I can access more strength from my muscles or some shit. These are all the things that uh people be looking to apply. And that's why, they're gonna get drawn in, man. He says it was very, very hard to give up all the amazing things that I was able to do. And it's like, yeah, this guy ain't be able to control shit for shit. But was it 2016? So it was last year. Was it this? No, it was last year, I believe. I think it was last year. So 2016. So I've been like, what, 7 years? 7 years he wouldn't have been able to do shit. Then he would have got some of it back. He's thinking like, oh. But that's, that's part of how drawn in people are gonna be, man. Because what 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and a man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And yeah, that's, Esau's been revealed, man. So-called white man's who's gone by many different names, where he's kind of, calling himself the Greeks, the Romans, he's, calling himself Caucasian, calling himself white, American, European, all these different labels and titles. Because, you go back to the origin, you go back to Esau, you go back to Edom, then all those things are basically tied to it. Same with, like, you got black, you got Hispanic, you got Native American. They're nothing. They don't hold any weight or value or worth. But then, you apply Israel upon them, and then all these different things get accentuated, because then you realize, okay, we can kind of line up who we're dealing with, so we know. And that's, why Esau hid, man. He didn't want to deal with all the things that were tied to Esau. That's why now, it's like talking about white people, even though, they ain't white, man. The original name, Eden, Adam, which means red, that applies to them. Because what does it say? Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And yeah, these are the things that, the niche, the kind of angle he's trying to go through. What he's aiming for is what? To be seen as, the Most High. That's essentially what he's how he's trying to apply him to, how he's trying to be seen. That's why, these miracles are being done. Like, damn, this guy couldn't even control nothing. It's like, you read about what Yahweh Shah, went around and did. The lame that walked, the dumb that spoke, the blind that see. There's various miracles, feeding the 5,000, walking on water, all these different things. But then what? It's Esau's basically trying to have, his equivalent of it, where it's like, okay, or the Most High can do those miracles, but then, okay, how about this? I can feed 5,000 by turning, flies and shit and waste into into edible food or something, or make it so there's you can grow meat without having to slaughter a cow. Which you're just gonna think, what even is the purpose of that, man? What the hell are we doing here? Why are we wasting this time? But these are the miracles that that Esau's basically trying to do to try and outdo the Most High, man. That's really what he's trying. He's trying to, sit and replace the Most High. But that, these things that he's doing, and they're only gonna go so far. Because with like Neuralink and that's links up with the MLTB. Because this is the mindset the world's in now, man. Revelation 18:3. Well, it said verse 2. Let's start from verse 2, 18:2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And so, Babylon's fallen and been destroyed, and it's only it's become that desert was filled with them doleful creatures. But then what? All the nations have drunk of the wine of her wrath. That's all. The whole world is hanging off. That wine, man. That confusion that's been dispensed by America, man. The whole world basically following after that mold, that shape, which that's that's what everyone's drawn into. That's what everyone's invested in. Because I said they, the merchants of the earth were rich through the abundance of her delicacies. That's a big part of it, man. Interacting with the West, they get that money, they get that lifestyle, get to enjoy themselves. I think, they get iPhones, they get certain vehicles. You can fly around the world, buy designer clothes, nice watches. Women. That all these things kind of come from engaging with that system in a to where you basically get to deal with the world differently. Really, that's what the draw is. That's what the appeal is. It says what? And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and you receive not of her plagues. For her sins are rich. You're gonna have that voice go out, man. For the elect to to come out of her, because the elect are gonna have that separation. But then you're gonna have those that are just as with the heathen, they're besotted with what do you call it, with America, man. They're besotted with the beast. They're thinking like, yo, this is the place though. They might think, they might have a certain house, might have a certain job, they might have a certain status, they might have wealth. They'll have all these different draws that are like weights, basically tying them down to that system. Just as people that had those things in Egypt, had those things in Babylon, in Media Persia, in Greece, in Rome. But then even with those weights, essentially, man, those things resisting you. Actually, I wish I said my sheep had my voice. So yeah, it's meant to be that difference, man, that gap between the elect, but everyone in the world. That's they're all gonna be drawn in, man. That's gonna be their reality. For her sins reach unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and a cup which she hath filled to her double. Yeah. So there's gonna be a recompense. There's gonna be judgment for the wickedness that's been done, the unrighteousness that's been done. Esau trying to essentially put himself as the Most High. That's going to be paid for. That's what people don't realize. It's where this is a transitory point. This is not the final state of how things are going to be. We're not going to go from this and then, and everyone's going to get Neuralinks whacked in their heads, and then it's going to be Star Trek and whatnot, futuristic, sending the American Empire to space, and colonizing the moon and colonizing the Mars and the moons of fucking Saturn and shit getting caught. These are the things that people are looking at, like, oh, that's where things are gonna go. But then, yeah, that's not, this place has a hard wall put on it, man. So back in Revelation 13:13, it says, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast." And yeah, those great wonders, that great military capability that Esau was able to showcase, man, chiefly with America. And then one of the pinnacle examples of this is always, you go to the bombs that got dropped on what are they called, on Japan. Those bombs that got dropped, man. You had Oppenheimer come out, basically, given a level of grandeur to to those bombs getting dropped, like it was something legendarily super happening, which it is. But then it's really what the Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Hashem Kakadash that gets that honor. Because why? What was I gonna say? Isaiah 54:16, man. The Most High is the one that basically gave them the inspiration to, put those devices together for his purpose. Esau's glorying in it, but it's something that Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Hashem Kakadash inspired and had come together. So that's what saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Yeah, everyone's really already up in that image, man, worshipping that image. All these different forms of confusion that people partake in. It's evident that they're completely drawn into that image, and that's why these guys are clamoring to get that Neuralink, man, because they're in that image. They're just thinking like, yo, this is the spot, man. This is the place. This is how things are gonna run. Because what does it say? And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And yeah, that that MOTB, man, that's micro C hip that everyone's gonna have to get. That's that's what we see formulating. You go back there, you had a few small things, but then you didn't have it just there to just kind of be like, hey, look, that guy's got it, man, right there. You can see it. in living fucking color. But now it is. Now it's on a level where it's undeniable, man. And that's, well, but then even then, you know, people are just not even, and among Jake, I'm really talking that hold it of you know, the significance of it as nothing. It's, you know, because why? You know, they've been blinded, man. They've been blinded to what it is. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Finish on that. Yeah, shalom, shalom.